and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today I'm doing a video based on a viewer question, and the question was from Get Swifty Sales, and they asked, can you explain how trimming too much above foliage, so the foliage on the plant, can cause root rot? And I do mention that because it can occur. So this is a nice Ficus benjamina. So say you're getting ready to cut it. As I always talk about, don't cut more than 1/4 to 1/3 of the top of the plant at a time, various reasons. And one of them being, if you cut too much, you can end up having root rot, because what happens is that when you prune too much on top, there's less foliage to absorb, to take up and to drink the water through the roots. So you haven't cut any roots, but you have cut foliage, right? So now your roots and your foliage are not proportional. So the plant will then not have enough foliage above ground, requiring the roots, the wet roots below ground. So then what the plant does, as plants do, they're very adaptable. The plant says, oh, we don't have very much foliage up here anymore. So what we're gonna do is we are going to drop off some of these roots because we don't need them anymore, because there's just not enough as mentioned, not enough foliage taking up that water. So the plant will then, you will experience root dieback. Now, this is where it gets not so good. So the plant will, doing what it does to create an equilibrium here, the plant, as mentioned, will drop off those roots. Now you have a lot more wet soil down there because you have less roots taking up water down there and drying out the soil. Then what happens with those roots that are remaining is that they are surrounded by way too much wet soil, and then they succumb to root rot. So without that cycling of water, as mentioned, because of the cutting too much up here, this is what you get from that. So if you have cut a lot up top on a plant, you want to repot into a smaller pot. Even if you have a lot of root down there now, you can expect that the plant is going to stop using part of those roots, and those roots will die back, as mentioned. So that's how you can solve this problem and prevent root rot from occurring if you have already done this. Because I know a lot of times when you're watching videos like, whoa, shoot, I already did that, now what? So what you do is go and get a plant, get a pot, a smaller pot, and what you want to look for, a good rule of thumb, there's two different rules of thumbs you can look for. 2/3, you want to end up having 2/3 foliage to 1/3 pot. So in the 3/3 combo, 2/3 of it is foliage, 1/3 of it is pot. Like this plant here, this plant is a good, really good example of that, this ficus. Another thing you want is, and this is even more critical for this problem, say you have over-pruned, what you want in the pot, you want to look at in the pot itself and the roots, the root mass, is you want to, well, this doesn't necessarily help until there's root dieback, but once there is root dieback, basically what you're looking for is, what you want is 2/3 root to 1/3 potting soil when you pot up, okay? So say you did this a while back, you cut a lot and the plant's not looking too good, and now you know, oh shoot, I gotta go, hurry up, get it into a smaller pot. Well, most likely at that point, yes, the roots will have died back, so then you can do that, like I said, 2/3 root, 1/3 potting soil within that pot, okay? Now, say you just did this the other day, you haven't really had the root die back, you're still gonna want to, then I would go with the other ratio, which is 2/3 plant, 1/3 pot. Now if you cut a lot out here, say I cut half of this off, this pot is going to be way too big. You see what I'm talking about? So say I cut off this plant like right here, now I've got more like half or even less up here, more like 1/3 plant to 2/3 pot. I want to switch it. I want to go get a pot that would make it 2/3 plant and 1/3 pot. It's going to be a lot smaller pot, probably half this size-ish or so. I've got this guy here, probably around like that, most likely. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but that's what you're going to need to do if you have over-pruned to save the plant from root rot, and it will help in a lot of other ways because you'll get good growth as well. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.